Hello, my friends. It has been a minute since I've done a homeschooling update, and I'm excited to share with you everything that has been going on for the past couple of months. This is actually going to be my final homeschool update for our homeschool year before I do all of my curriculum review videos for the year. So if you're interested to hear how homeschooling has gone and daily life and all of that, keep watching. If you are new to my channel, I'm Christine. I am a second generation homeschooler and I homeschool my three kids who are 9, 8, and 6. My two youngest just had their birthdays recently, and so another year. Oh my goodness, they're just getting older really, really quickly. I had been doing like monthly homeschool updates this year, and then which month would it have been? I think September. I did not. Was it September, October? I don't know. There was a month. Yeah, it must have been September. I did not do a homeschool update. And then, because I just didn't feel like there were enough changes or anything super interesting to share with you. And then it's now November. And I'm like, yeah, it's time to do sort of an update to wrap up the end of the year and just let you know where we are with everything, how homeschooling has been going, because we actually only have 4 weeks left of our homeschool year. So I've actually written notes down because I've been somewhat sleep deprived lately, and I can't remember all the things anymore. Usually I'm great at remembering stuff, but not lately. So let me find my notes that I've written down. Okay, so I'm going to start with homeschooling stuff, and then we'll talk about like general life stuff and how things have been going there. It's been a little topsy-turvy, not all bad. Some really exciting good stuff as well. But for me in particular, the last couple of weeks have been a huge challenge. So we'll chat about that. I'll let you know how things have gone. But let's talk homeschooling because, yeah, we're winding down our year. We've actually completed some of the curriculum already, and I've actually rolled the kids straight onto their curriculum for next year because I didn't want that massive of a break between ending this year and beginning next year, because we won't start our school until February next year. In my opinion, it was just too big of a break for my kids. I knew that they would forget stuff, and I didn't want that to happen. So we've definitely, I think Jack finished up his language arts. He did amazingly in that. So he did the good and the beautiful language arts, and his reading assessment from the beginning of the year to the end of the year was insane. Like, I think the first assessment was like a minute something, like a minute and a half, and he got it down to like 45 seconds. And in the first assessment, he had like, I don't know, tons of mistakes. And he only had one by the end of the year. So that was a really, really cool way for him to see how much he had progressed. I already knew he had done that well with reading because he's just been like reading and reading and reading and reading this year. He just loves it. I actually shared a picture on my Instagram a week or so ago, just showing the number of books he had read through this year, and half of them were books that were assigned for school, and the other half he's just read in his own time. And it was like a stack of books like this, and some of them are early chapter books, some of them are more advanced. And I wanted to share that as an encouragement to those of you who are currently teaching very reluctant readers or having struggles with teaching reading, because my son was the kid who cried over reading, who was frustrated, who was like, I'm a terrible reader, I'm never going to be good at this, for years, like actual years. And then this year, and even beginning last year, things have just clicked. And now he will tell me, Mom, I'm such a good reader. I love reading. This is amazing. And he's just, it's so cool. So I know that was encouragement to a lot of you where I shared it there, but I'm just sharing it here as well. If you're in the thick of it, stick with it. It's worth it. I'm going to be sharing a video later this month sort of about my approach to homeschooling. And one of the things that I believe firmly in is that teaching our kids to do hard things, and that we don't just give up because things are challenging. So yeah, keep an eye out for that, because I feel like that really applies to teaching them how to read, but there's balance to be had. So that'll be an interesting discussion. So that's been really cool to see the kids finishing up things. One of the other things my daughter finished up was her handwriting, because she loves handwriting, and Joyce does a lot more than is necessary. So she's already rolled on to the next level. And let's chat about my kindergartner, because she's kind of had like a mashup of curriculums this year. And I don't know if I've mentioned it here, but I definitely mentioned it in my email list. So I send out weekly emails. If you want to get weekly emails from me, I just keep you updated on how things are going, and I share freebies and like any new products or anything like that. I'll have it linked down in the description below. And you can sign up there because that is where I tend to share everything first. But I definitely shared in there that I got All About Reading back from a friend that I'd lent it to. And I used that program with my son when he was really little. And so I pulled it out and I was like, I'm just going to try this with her and see how she does with it. And oh my goodness, she's been doing so well. It's just, I think the simplicity of it is just her jam. Like she just does really, really, really well with it. And she's really enjoying it. Up until this point, we've been using Abeka, and there's been nothing wrong with Abeka. It was just getting a little fast-paced, and I needed to step back a bit. And so my thoughts are this, because the reason I went with Abeka is because she likes worksheets, and All About Reading has hands-on activities, but not worksheets. And they've got, Abeka's reading curriculum is really solid as well. So my thoughts are actually merging the two together. I think what I'm going to continue to do for the rest of this year and probably next year is use All About Reading with her because it is just such a good reading program, and I've already got it. Continue using that with her, and then just have her do the worksheets from Abeka because that kind of like ticks that box for her, and it's a little bit of review and it's fun for her. So that's kind of the hybrid version of what I've been doing with her and what I plan to continue doing with her for now. I do have plans for the summer. I don't know if I'm going to talk about that in this video or if I'll do like a whole dedicated video. I think I probably will do a dedicated video about it, sort of my summer plans for the kids and how we're going to avoid just pandemonium like over the summertime because there's no structure or whatever. I can't do that for that length of a time. Like there has to be some structure to our days. So I think I'll do a separate video on that. But yeah, I've been using that with her and she's been doing fantastic. It's been just the sweetest thing because she has a lot more of the learning tendencies of my firstborn, who is a perfectionist, and that was one of our biggest battles when he was younger. And now she's using the same curriculum he did with very similar tendencies where she gets frustrated because she doesn't know things and she doesn't get things correct the first time. And he keeps coming alongside her and being like, you are doing so well. Charlie, I really struggled with this too, but you're doing so well and you're such a good reader. Listen to you reading those. And I'm like, oh my goodness, my heart. Like, it's just been the best to have older siblings. It's cheerleaders. So cool. So let me just tell you that when you begin homeschooling, like you go into it with these ideas of the benefits of homeschooling, but there's just so much more than you will ever even, imagine. And I'm a second generation homeschooler and I've seen homeschooling from the perspective of a student. And now I get to view it through the lens of being the parent. And there's just so many, just wonderful blessings in it all. So let that be an encouragement to you. Okay, what's the next thing? Spelling. Spelling is a pain point at the moment for my son's the only one doing formal spelling. We have used sequential spelling for the majority of the year, and for the most part, it's been really good. But as of late, he's really, really disliking it. I don't know if it's an accent thing because the guy who says the words, because it's on the computer, so the guy dictates the words and then he has to type in what he thinks it is. And I don't know if it's an accent issue because the guy is American and we're Kiwi, although I know you can't really tell that from my accent. But my kids sound very much like Kiwis and that's what their ear is attuned to. So I don't know if it's an accent issue. I know there were a couple glitches in the program where it kept putting weird symbols in and I thought my son was getting it wrong and I was like, why do you keep putting that in? And he's like, I'm not, Mom, I'm putting this in. And it was actually a friend of mine who was using the same program. She's like, yeah, this glitch is really annoying. And I was like, oh, it's not my kid. So that's kind of been frustrating. And then there have been some really obscure words. Not very often. This has not been a huge issue, but there have been some really odd words that I've never heard before. And I don't know if it's specific to the US as far as not a cultural thing, but just the norm where you live. I can't even think of any examples off the top of my head, but there's just been a couple things and I'm like, I would not know the context of that at all. So I don't know. We also used Spelling Wisdom for some time and he did okay with that, but then he was like, oh, I want to go back to the computer. So I was like, whatever. And now I asked him the other day, I'm like, out of the two, which do you prefer? And he was like, the one that's not on the computer. So I think going forward, we're going to continue with spelling wisdom. I think it's just a subject he's not going to enjoy, and that's okay. It's a necessary subject for him, and he will get better over time. But again, it's his perfectionist tendencies. He wants to get it right, and he gets really frustrated when he doesn't. But his spelling is improving. Like, I'm seeing that when he's writing and stuff, he does know how to spell a lot of words now. So I'm not worried about it. It's just like navigating the balance of pushing through challenging things, but also acknowledging when maybe things really aren't a right fit. So that's kind of where we are with that. And then the other thing I was going to chat about quickly, I'm actually doing a video about this, is Christmas school. And we are going to do some Christmas school this year. I was in two minds about whether or not we were going to. We have done Christmas units in years past. We've done a couple. And this year, I really didn't know. And then at the last minute, I was like, I am going to do it. So we're going to do a Christmas unit. And I've got some Christmas copy work that I've actually made. It's available in my store. I'll have it linked down below for you. It's Christmas Carol copy work, and the kids are going to be using that as well. The difference this year is that usually I would sort of begin the unit at the end of November and carry on into December. Whereas we're actually winding down all of our other, like, we will be finished with our school at the end of November. And so I think in years past, the reason it's been a bit stressful and something I haven't really enjoyed is because I don't actually want to do school in December. Like, we're coming off the end of a full school year. I don't want to tack more onto that, even if it is a lot of fun and crafts and activities and stuff. We're just ready to blob out for a bit and chill. And so the thing that I'm doing differently this year is I'm actually beginning the Christmas unit now at the beginning of November, and we will be finished with it by the end of November. So all of December is going to be holiday for us. We're not going to do any formal school in December. So I will go ahead and share all those resources in a video that I'll have it out pretty soon. It will be up this month so that you can see what we're using. I thought I had cleared my memory card, and obviously I had not, because it just stopped mid-recording. But it was probably a good place to stop, because I think I had just finished rambling on about homeschool. So we're in a good place. I have been prepping for our next homeschool year. Most of my planning for that is done now. There'll just be some final tweaks to do. And then I do plan on doing like a declutter and organize over the summertime so that we have a fresh space for the new school year. And that is my plan over the summer, is to declutter and organize my house. Like, at the moment it's a disaster because we are renovating, and having just one room out of action like filters through to the whole house. So that's a good segue into more like life updates. We have been renovating our ensuite, which is so exciting because we're like this close to having a functioning shower again, and I am very excited to have our space back. We shared a bathroom with our kids like for years and years and years. We had a 3-bed, 1-bathroom house, and it was all we knew. And then we moved into this house last year and got an ensuite, and I mean, the ensuite was gross. Like, it was full of mold. Like, all the fixtures were moldy. Like, it wasn't full of mold as far as like the walls and stuff like that, but the fixtures, the shower was disgusting. Like, it was just really bad. Pretty much original to the 1970s. But just having that space to ourselves was so nice, and I have missed it. So it's been a long time coming. We started in August, and we're doing pretty much most of it ourselves, and so it's just like takes a lot of time. But we're getting it. We're getting close. Once the shower's in, everything else will go a lot faster, because I can do plastering and painting and all of that kind of stuff, because I've been relying on my husband for a lot of things, and he works long hours. So anyway, that has been, it's both a blessing and a challenge, as anyone who has renovated ever will tell you. It's a lot of hard work. So that's been going on, and it is very exciting. And just life has been happening. It's been busy. My daughters both had their birthdays. October is birthday month for like our extended family. There's so many things on in October. And this weekend, my husband and 2 older kids have gone off on a camping trip, an overnight camping trip. They're going jet boating down a river, and like, it's a whole thing. It's a lot of prep for one night. And so they're really excited about that. I mean, by the time this video comes out, that will all be done and dusted. And I am heading off on a garden tour. This will be my second time going. I went a couple years ago, and I'm going with my mom and my good friend, and I'm so excited for it. I'm really, really looking forward to it. It has been a long winter, and I'm just looking forward to like being outdoors and getting a love of gardening again, because when we moved into this house, I kind of got burnt out and overwhelmed with my garden, and it's just been hard to get back into it. So that's that. As for me, I have had some challenges. I started on some new medication a couple of months ago, and it's taking time to adjust to that. So that's been a bit of a challenge, but the last couple of weeks, oh my goodness, I got sick with like laryngitis, it didn't make me feel too terrible, but I just lost my voice, and that's really frustrating when you're trying to parent your children and do homeschooling and stuff. It was a pain, and then I developed a cough, which kept me up at night, and I was like sleeping on the couch and stuff for a while, so I didn't disturb my husband. And then 10 days ago now, oh my goodness, I was at a homeschool meetup with my kids, the first one we've been to in a while, and it was at the skate park, and I was sitting out for 11, 12, 1, 2, like 4 hours. It was not, I think it said it was 22 degrees Celsius. It did not feel hot at all. The wind was blowing. It was cold. I had a hoodie on like the whole time, basically. And I was wearing shorts, just like knee-length shorts. And I got home that night, and I was like, I think my legs got burnt. And a couple other moms chimed in and said they got burnt too. Wow. This has been quite possibly the most dramatic sunburn / wind burn I've ever had in my life. And it's been a huge challenge. It's been extremely painful. My right leg in particular got so badly burnt. And the problem wasn't the burn, it was that my leg swelled up. I have never seen that happen with sunburn before, but my leg literally swelled up to the point where I could not wait there on it for a couple of days. I technically could, but it was excruciatingly painful because of the swelling in my ankle in particular. And so I was literally on the sofa with my leg doused in aloe and wrapped up in cling film, elevated for 2 days straight. It's been a journey. Let's just put it that way. Not having a voice is frustrating, but not being able to walk has been another level of just really challenging, because you know when you're sitting there and like your house is like turning into a disaster and you can do nothing about it. So it was really hard. My kids were amazing. My elder two made like mashed potato from start to finish for the first time ever. I just told them what to do from the couch and they did it all, and they were so good. But honestly, it's been hard. And then I kind of like got laryngitis back. You might still hear it in my voice. I've just had this cough and like croaky voice, and it's just not going away. And I don't know if it's allergies or just the lingering effects of the laryngitis I had. I don't know. But I have just been feeling a bit, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't know. Just depressed, basically, because I just feel like I cannot get healthy. And that sounds very dramatic, but I've been in a lot of pain for the last 10 days. Today is the first day I'm not in pain. I took an Epsom salt bath last night for an hour, and I cannot believe the difference it made. It was incredible. And I've been able to like have my like burns open to the air today for the first time in a long time. I've had to have them like completely wrapped up because it's been so bad. So everything's healing, and I can walk without limping, and it's just so good. So I'm slowly coming out of this thing, but oh my goodness, guys, I will be like dousing myself. I'm usually very mindful of it because I am pale skinned. I'm older now. I totally understand the effects of the sun, and my husband has had melanoma, and that was really, really, really scary. And so I'm usually very proactive. But for whatever reason, it just did not even cross my mind because it wasn't warm. So lesson learned, always put the sunblock on, especially if the wind is blowing, because it's just really deceives you. So anyway, that is my update on what has gone on for the last couple of months. We've only got a couple months left of the whole year, which is wild, and it's going to be busy. So I kind of like, pulled my suspenders up, and I'm like, let's get on with it. I've done a lot of planning and prepping, and I'm looking forward to ending the year, hopefully strong. I always say that, and then the Lord's like, no, you need to learn your place. Like, I need to help you. So you need to lean on me. This has got nothing to do with you. So I won't like say like, I'm going to do this, because I usually cannot do anything very well. So hopefully the Lord will take care of us through one way or another, and you know, we'll see the blessings in the end of the year. So anyway, any questions for me, leave them down in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
What if the world had more of your smile? What if the wind could spread your love? What if your sweetness could reach everyone? There'd be no wars.